Do you still remember when the internet was a wild playground where a dog filter and a catchy tune were enough to become famous? 10 years ago, we all experienced content without algorithms deciding what we should see. And today, in 2026, we're obsessed with reviving that. The reason isn't just a trend. It's a collective reaction to exhaustion from this overly polished and accelerated digital life. What does it mean for us as a society to miss such a specific year as 2016? Find out, because what we search for in the past tells us something profound about the present and about our future. Have you ever wondered why the year 2016 is suddenly everywhere again for no apparent reason? It's no coincidence and no passing fad. It's a profound anthropological phenomenon dominating the internet and social networks in 2026. Since the beginning of this year, platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and X have been flooded with posts using the hashtag 2016, videos imitating classic filters, songs that defined that era, and references to viral challenges like the mannequin challenge or the bottle flip. There are even voices already claiming 2026 is the new 2016, as if the present were being re-enchanted through memories of the past to ease the pressure of the now. This phenomenon didn't emerge from nothing. It's the response to a combination of social, anthropological, and psychological factors that explain why many of us feel nostalgia for a very specific period in our collective memory. First, there's a psychological reason for this wave of nostalgia. When life is full of uncertainty, as it is now in 2026, with accelerated technological advances, social tensions, and constant changes, our brain tends to take refuge in memories associated with security, simplicity, and youth. Studies in psychology have shown that we tend to idealize the past to feel continuity in our identity and reduce anxiety about the future, even when that past wasn't actually perfect. Culturally speaking, 2016 was a year that marked a very special phase in the history of the internet and digital culture. It was a time when social networks were less dominated by sophisticated algorithms and commercial content, and more by spontaneous posts from ordinary users. You could upload a blurry photo of a brunch or a selfie without feeling like you had to design a personal brand. That feeling of digital freedom without metrics, without pressure, without professional filters is precisely what is fondly remembered today. Furthermore, 2016 was a year full of cultural moments that resonated deeply with an entire generation. The Pokemon Go craze redefined how we connect the virtual and the real. Beyoncé released Lemonade, an iconic album in global cultural discourse, and memes, challenges, and apps emerged that became symbols of an era when collective creativity was less segmented and more shared. Interestingly, this type of nostalgia isn't only felt by those who consciously lived through that year, but also by younger generations who were barely 10 years old or younger in 2016. They experience a form of nostalgia for memories they didn't directly experience but inherited through digital culture. This reveals something fundamental about how we build collective memory in the age of social media. It's not just about personal memories, but about shared memories that the internet repeats infinitely until they become part of our cultural perception. From an anthropological perspective, this phenomenon points to a tension between two ways of existing in the digital world. On one hand, there's digital memory, an infinite archive of images, videos, filters, and songs that is repeated and remixed until it forms a collective imaginary. Every time someone posts a memory of 2016, they're not only reviving their personal past, but contributing to a shared narrative that others accept and reinterpret. On the other hand, there's nostalgia as a social mechanism that helps us cope with anxiety about the present. When life feels too complex on an economic, political, or technological level, we turn to memories of past eras, not because they were objectively better, but because they offer a sense of stability and meaning in a moment of cultural fragmentation. But this nostalgia also has a deeper and perhaps more concerning side. It can become a kind of retroactive refuge that prevents us from facing the real challenges of the present. We don't always remember the past as it was. We tend to select positive elements and forget the negative. Thus, 2016 is evoked by many as a simpler and more fun time, even though in reality it was also marked by difficult and divisive events like Brexit, the US elections, the death of iconic cultural figures, and global crises that were already brewing. From this perspective, nostalgia for 2016 resembles more of a cultural construction than a faithful historical reconstruction. It's as if social networks function as a vast collective editing machine that selects what we want to remember and leaves out what we'd rather forget. This explains why many of the posts about this trend focus on music, filters, fashion, and memes, sensory and emotional aspects, rather than complex political or social contexts. Nevertheless, this very nostalgia can also have a positive anthropological value. It allows us to explore how generations construct meaning, identity, and community amid changing digital environments. When we look back with affection, we're not only remembering individual moments, but also connecting with others who share those experiences, creating intergenerational bridges and cultural dialogues that function as a global social fabric. Finally, this phenomenon invites us to reflect on the relationship between memory, technology, and society. What does it mean to remember something in an era when information flows incessantly, when memories are shared instantly, and when culture repeats itself in endless loops? Nostalgia for 2016 isn't just a viral trend. It's a mirror showing us how the digital revolution has changed not only our habits, but also our collective experience of time, identity, and sense of belonging. In a world where the new becomes old almost instantaneously, this return to the past isn't a sign of cultural regression, but rather a symptom of how contemporary societies manage the complexity of the present by turning to shared memories that anchor us, comfort us, and paradoxically drive us to imagine new futures. If we want to understand our current digital culture, understanding why 2016 is resurging tells us as much about the past as it does about who we are today and where we might be heading in the coming years.